Okay, guys, so I've gone through, I've added in a little bit more of some gradients here in the tongue area, around in the teeth. We have the eyes as we saw before. Now, there is something I do want to talk a little bit about. The mouth here, because we're starting to work with shadows and highlights, is a little bit, it doesn't seem like there's a depth. Like there should be a sense that it's getting darker in here. So what I did, and we'll kind of, is I added in a little bit of a transparent gradient here. So the cool thing about this gradient, if we click on it, you guys will see that we're actually going to a transparency. And that gives us a little bit of a sense of kind of darkening there, right? And then if I click over here, I added in another one that just kind of gives us a little bit more of a depth that is kind of going into the back of the mouth. So let's do this up here with our glasses. So let's find the glasses. There they are. All right. We'll turn these other ones off just to be safe. I've also added in a little bit of the white around there. So let's go in and let's add a little bit of a sense of a lens in the glasses. So I'm going to, we've already got a gradient here. Let's just change this to kind of a glass color. That works well. All right, so same thing we've done before. I'm going to use my pen tool. I'm going to start tracing. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, because what I'm going to do is just kind of trace along the outlines of the glasses. And we'll hit the A button there just so we can get that in just a little bit. Same thing over here, P for pen. And I'm just going to move this once it's done. Behind, so we've got these, we can flip them. There's this other one, flipped, right? But now if I move them further down, and remember if we hold down Shift and use the, if that's selected, we can, oh, I've got to make sure it's selected. We can hold down Command and the bracket keys, and I can move it further and further down. There we go. Same thing here. Behind the glasses, there we are. And actually, might want to move that up above the white area, or maybe move my white area below that. Anyway, we've got that. So now we can just do a simple version of this where we select both of these and we change the opacity down. I'll turn everything else on since, right? So that looks better. That looks like I've got some glasses in there, but let's actually go even further with this and turn this into a gradient. So we'll bring the opacity up to 100% with both of these, just to start off with. All right, so I've got, I've got kind of the white in the center there. Whoops. And then I kind of went with a darker kind of color over here. So that actually works pretty nicely. The whole thing is kind of opaque. There we are with kind of these crazy x-ray specs, but I can go in and actually make this work itself. So once again, depending on how I want kind of those shadows to kind of be a little bit over there. So I think that was actually pretty good. I can go in and I can say that the opacity of this is maybe 30. And same thing here. Let's bring the opacity down to 30. Actually, let's take it up just a little bit more, maybe to 40. And over here, we'll change that opacity down to 20. And now we've got this nice kind of effect that looks like we've got some glasses on there. All right, and then we've gone through, and once again, these last steps, the big part of this assignment is really to make sure that it looks like that you get a sense of using the pen tool. If you do that well, then these other additions of kind of playing with gradients, I think is a great addition to this. And you could go in and do gradients within the face and everything else. But I think that this is just a really nice way, especially since it's kind of focusing in on the eyes and the mouth and everything, to give it a sense of color and a little bit more of a sense of depth and light within the piece while still using flat objects. Now that you've got that done, you're ready to add in and draw your own pieces to create a sense of an alter ego. And that's where going through and making sure you've got all of these layers selected separately is really going to make a big difference.